Let's go ahead and jump right into keyword searches. Crub, keyword or phrase to search the Am I the Asshole subreddit.
Keyword or phrase
For a post.
Ooh. Lazy.
Lazy?
The word lazy.
That's it?
I think the word I'm
world-renowned
I
men's
think
rights activist Crub.
All right, fuck it. AR-15. AR-15. You want something salient?
I'll bring up
AR-15.
I'll bring up the top lazy post and then also the top AR-15 post. Why
AR-15.
are there so many?
So bad. I want the AR-15 one so bad.
The lazy post is actually a twofer. The top lazy post is an update post. Lazy is hopefully gonna give us some juice. All right.
That's a lot of juice. Holy shit.
Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that being depressed is not an excuse for being lazy?
Oh man, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of nuance here.
We're just like, we're in the title and we're already just like,
And we're already waving just every red flag we possibly can. Okay.
this post is from 4 years ago. And now that the prediction has closed, I will tell you that the Reddit flare says no assholes here.
Whoa. Okay.
The Reddit flare says no assholes here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I, 29, have always supported my girlfriend, 23. We have been together for 4 years now and lived together for 1. She has always had anxiety as well as depression, where some months are worse than others. I have supported her through all of this and understand it is very hard for her. In January, she lost her job due to the current world circumstances. By March, she hit a low point with not eating as much, crying, irritability, typical traits of depression. I have comforted her as much as possible and taken care of everything. However, at the beginning of June, I was allowed back to work, and since then, the house has fallen to shambles. I am too tired by the time I come home to do anything, even cook. Most nights we order takeout, and on the rare occasion, she makes food. The floors aren't being washed. Hoovering isn't being done.
So funny that they're calling it that. Vacuuming.
Anyway, okay. Hoovering isn't being done. Laundry is a mountain, and dishes are everywhere. I try to keep on top of it, but with work, it's almost impossible. She is home all day. She lies in bed till late afternoon, watches Netflix, eats bowls of cereals, and naps. That's about it. I've tried to gently coax her to do more, and she says she will, but never does. I finally snapped, told her I was sick of her doing nothing all day and leaving the housework for me. That if she is here and I am working, she needs to be pulling her weight. She got upset and said that she wants to, but she can never find the motivation, that she is tired all the time. I said I understood she was depressed, but it isn't an excuse to do nothing and be lazy. No one likes housework, but I won't take any more excuses about it. She needs to start doing it or leave. Ultimatum time. How long did this take? In January?
Like 2 months?
By March.
Kind of a quick turnaround. It's kind of a quick
March,
turnaround.
she hit a low point. Beginning of June, allowed back to work.
So it's been like 5 months in totality, it looks like.
Okay. So that is a decent chunk of time.
It's almost half a year.
Yeah. Next day, I come home to a clean house and a note from her saying she was sorry and is going to stay with her mother. Her mom helped her clean before they left. I tried calling, but she wouldn't pick up. When I rang the house, her mother answered and had a lot to say. She was furious, telling me how she is struggling and I am making her worse, that I should be supporting her, not ignoring that she is in a bad place, and so on. I was told my girlfriend had been crying all day in her bedroom and I feel awful. I never wanted to hurt her, I just snapped. I tried to get her mother to give my GF the phone, but she wouldn't speak to me. It feels like a lose-lose situation. On one hand, I know depression results in lack of motivation and cleanliness. On the other hand, I can't see our home in such chaos. I've never had depression, so I can't say for sure how bad it truly is. That's why I find it more difficult to 100% empathize. Am I the asshole for telling her depression isn't an excuse? Extra info on this post: she has a therapist and talks regularly with them. Her depression is worse since losing her job. Usually she is quite clean and tidy. We don't usually have this issue. She's looking for a job despite depression, etc. I have enough money to support us both in the meantime. So that's the original post. I guess preliminary thoughts.
Preliminary thoughts. I do think he's an asshole. The reason, so the end kind of clarified it for me.
Right.
The fact that he said that normally she is neat and tidy and that she's specifically depressed because of this job situation, it seems like it's circumstantial. It's out of her control. She's trying to find a new job. She's with a therapist. She's looking for help. I think that when you have like weaponized incompetence and you're utilizing that to kind of,
right,
quote unquote, get away with not doing anything. In order to maintain these relationships, you have to have some kind of sense of self and sense of your own taking care of yourself. It is it's during COVID though, and she's lost her job. And like, I think it's valid for him to have a conversation with her.
Right.
But the fact that he's like being like, the relationship's going to end if this doesn't improve. It's like,
yeah. I get that he
that.
snapped, and this probably bubbled and boiled up over a decent amount of time. What makes him an asshole is the snap.
Yes.
Is the way he went about it. Right.
I really think that's what it comes down to. It's like, it takes a lot of communication to get through it. And I think it's completely okay to have an expectation that your partner pulls their weight. But I also think that it requires communication and empathy and patience as well, if you really care. I feel like we're kind of losing here a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you implied, I think you already have implied, like, kind of given yourself not the benefit of the doubt by posting your personal information online instead of also going to therapy and learning how to communicate with your partner.
And in the span of 30 seconds, Krub has ended Hole Inspector because the answer is
problematic.
Are you on Reddit? You're an asshole.
Yes, are you on Reddit?
There
You're
it
an
is.
asshole.
There it is. We're done. Close.
Over.
Case closed, everybody. Anyway, update post. Here we go.
Ultimately, I realized the majority of the blame was mine. I never ever should have called her lazy because that isn't what she is. I lashed out, and I shouldn't have. She stayed at her mother's for a few days, and we eventually met up to talk. I told her how it just got too much for me, but it was no excuse for lashing out, and I apologized. She apologized also, not that she needed to, and we talked for a long time about how we can make our relationship work. I expressed my concerns over her therapist, who was very against anything other than taking therapy. She agreed, and he didn't seem to really have her best interest in heart, so she currently is looking for someone new.
Don't be afraid to fire your therapist.
Yes.
They work for you. You do need to be able to notice when a therapist is not helping you, literally not being constructive to your situations.
100%. And therapy is not what solves your problem, right? Therapy is the tool you use to do things to solve your problem or make progress. I should maybe not solve your issues, but make progress in your issues, right? So if your therapist is not really giving you solutions and it's just like, well, just come talking to me. It's like, that's not, your therapist shouldn't be giving you like ultimate, this is going to solve your problem 100%. Right. But they also shouldn't just be like, no, you'll get better if you keep coming to therapy. For now, I suggested she stops looking for work. She got a lot of rejections, and I could see it was upsetting her more. I just felt we should take a step back from that, and I wanted to focus a little more on herself. She was unsure, as she felt bad that I would be working for both of us, but I assured her it's fine. I make enough to support us both quite comfortably. I also suggested she should volunteer at some point just to get her out and get some more stuff on her resume. I'm no therapist, so these are just suggestions, but it has seemed to have taken some pressure off her, which is what I wanted. We agreed that being in the apartment all day alone and in bed is not good for her, so we came up with a plan that she do an exercise video 3 times a week. It's only a 10-minute one, just so she's doing something. She has found she likes doing them. They make her feel a bit better, and she has started doing something called yin yoga now too. To help me, she has 1 chore a day to do. I don't care what it is. It could be dishes or it could just be putting laundry in the hamper. The rule has at least gotten her out of bed for part of the day, and she's found that once she starts, she sometimes ends up doing more than one thing. I make sure to show my appreciation for whatever she's done, no matter how small it was. We have set out that every Sunday we will have a deep cleaning day where we get everything done for the week. This has been surprisingly successful. We make it fun and just mess around while still getting things done. Makes a week a lot more manageable when we only have light chores to keep on top of. She's trying more. I'm working on being more supportive. I'm researching it more and learning more ways I can help because it's a part of her. We are both putting more effort and communicating a lot better. I hope we can keep making progress because I do love her very much and want us to work.
It was like a complete, not even 180. This motherfucker did a 720 kickflip spin and said, hold my fucking beer, and was like, we're gonna do everything in the therapy book 101.
I literally was reading this.
I'm no therapist, but here's literally everything you need to do to help get out of this rut. Holy fuck.
I was literally thinking that as I was reading that. I'm like, I think my therapist has told me all of these things. This, you know, these troubles with the relationship. He's struggling with communication, and he's struggling with maintaining his emotions, and he's struggling with balancing this, and he's struggling with how to support his partner. And those are things you learn in therapy. Just because there's not, you know, just because it's not your problem, the way you're responding is a problem, and you need to learn how to deal with that negative response.
10,000%.
Which is just as much a reason to go to therapy as needing to go for depression, I think.
Okay, we're not gonna do a prediction on it. Do we have time for a 2-paragraph AR-15 story?
Yes, of
Okay,
course.
no prediction on this one, just real fast. Am I the asshole for excluding my daughter from our father-son bonding trip with my sons? 46M went on a trip with my sons, 17M, 18M, last weekend. My daughter, 15F, and my wife stayed home. My daughter wanted to come, but I told her she couldn't since this was a bonding activity for me and my sons. She got very angry and called me sexist and told me she hated me and that I was a bad father. She told me that my father-son bonding moments are bullshit, that it isn't fair that she doesn't get to come. Parenthetical, she is kind of oversensitive to sexism, for example, if I don't let her do certain things, like going to the mall, arriving home late, getting a motorcycle. Always angrily asks if I would let her do it if she was born male, and she frequently accuses me of favoring her sons because of their gender. She kept on trying to convince me until we left. When we arrived home, she didn't greet us and didn't say hi to us. She is sulking when I am at home. My wife says she doesn't do this when I am not. She is sometimes mean to her brothers and resents them. She says things like she hopes they had a bad time. She only talks to me when it is absolutely necessary or when she makes a comment, parenthetical, about the situation. When we talk about the trip, she gets mad and tells us she doesn't want to hear what she was excluded from. Her mother also thinks she is being unreasonable. We did things I knew she wouldn't enjoy, and I feel like she only does this because she wants to be the victim and be angry about something, or our relationship was already bad. Am I the asshole, or is she overreacting?
I think this is a self-perpetuating cycle. I think that he is forcing traditional gender roles onto his daughter, and therefore she is acting out, which makes him not want to spend time with her, which then perpetuates into him not spending time with her and their relationship, getting even worse. I think that if motherfucker just lets his daughter do boy shit, they wouldn't have this issue.
Right. Spend time with your daughter.
Sorry, you're not gonna. Yeah, you're gonna harsh
like
the dude vibe.
I like the top comment here. Yes, the asshole. Don't worry about it though. She's not going to be interested in spending time with you much longer, and soon she'll move out and only talk to you a few times a year, and it'll be your own fault. So we didn't get here because there was talks about guns. We got here because the daughter was 15.
That is crazy.
Here we go. Am I the asshole for coming to dinner basically topless? Depends what's for dinner. I've dreaded posting this for a while because I'm afraid I might be the asshole, but I just gotta know. So here goes. My parents-in-law and brother-in-law came to visit and stay for a month with my husband, 27M, and I, 28F, after I had my baby. For context, if it makes any difference, I'm German, husband and his family are Italian. The baby was 3 months old at the time, and I breastfeed her. Usually I'd just nurse on the couch in the living room, but because company was staying, I'd go to my bedroom. After I nursed her, she'd fall asleep and take a nap, and I'd have some free time. Since family was visiting, I tried to plan her naps around our mealtime and spend time with family uninterrupted. My mother-in-law has this thing that when food is on the table, you be there pronto. Sometimes it'd be late coming to a meal because babies can be unpredictable and she wouldn't fall asleep right away or nurse longer than normal. To this, my mother-in-law would barge into my room and announce food was ready, all impatient. This startled the baby and made the process last much longer than it should have. The result is I had to eat much later than everyone else, alone, and the food was cold. It left me fuming. More work to do with the baby and I'm secluded. This happened several times. This fucking mother-in-law, dude. Why? I'm begging mother-in-laws to chill the fuck out. I asked my husband to talk to her and explain I can't always come on time. He talked to her, but she still did all this anyway. So I simply decided to stop being late to dinners. The next time she barged into my room and announced food was ready, I came without hesitation. You couldn't have chose different wordings. I came to the table exactly as I was. No shirt, half a bra, baby hanging on one tit. Nothing was seen as the baby's head was covering up everything anyway, but still. Ensue uproar. It goes something like, mother-in-law exclaims, what the hell I'm doing at the table like this? I'm indecent. There are men at the table. I should be ashamed. Not the mother-in-law having the most internalized misogyny. Are you more upset that I'm not at the table at your beck and call? Or are you more upset that I am a woman with titties and breastfeeding my child? What do you want? What do you want here? You need to placate to these fragile men and their heinous desires. Because as we all know, every man is an uncultured, ravenous sex fiend that cannot control themselves. How dare you have your ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-roonies out feeding your child? I yell back, what the hell does she keep calling me to the table for if I'm not yet ready? I have no reason to be in my room alone with my baby while everyone else is out having a great time together. Brother and father-in-law are trying not to get in on the argument. Husband ushers me back into the room and scolds me, taking his mother's side? Divorce. He means he gets I'm frustrated, but this action didn't help anything. But after that, mother-in-law didn't bother again while I was busy with the baby. There you go. There you go. So what if I came to some meals a little after everyone had started eating? The roof didn't cave in. Anyways, everyone lived happily ever after. The end. Am I the asshole? Never the asshole for breastfeeding at the table. Everyone else is eating at the table, so why shouldn't the baby? Real! Fucking realness! Oh, that's so good. That's such a good way to put that. Easy, quick hole, not the asshole. Get fucked. Your mother-in-law's a piece of shit. Divorce your husband. Sick. You keep Evelyn's name out of your mouth. She's a saint. Evelyn can suck my dick, Miz! Give me that fucking dentures out gummy job, baby!